to talk a little bit today about modeling. So you don't need to recreate the wheel. But I think sometimes in our industry or in any industry really, like just being an entrepreneur, like have you ever felt that feeling that it kind of feels lonely, like you're out on your own island and you're trying to like build roads and build a city and build this whole infrastructure and you think to yourself like tons of cities have been built. Why do I have to figure this out completely on my own? Like it feels very lonely. And when you come out of a corporate job, especially, like I came out of a really big hotel with an IT department and I had my own assistant and I had coordinators that helped and I had um, bosses, like people above me that had gone before me and were literally saying like, this is how you do it. And when you become an entrepreneur, you start your own business, I think it feels a little lonely sometimes, where you're like, ugh, I just feel like I don't have anybody that I can ask. I don't have anybody that I can talk to. If I ask, will I offend someone or will I sound stupid? Will people think that I'm further along in my business if I ask a question that makes me sound like a newbie? And so I do think sometimes it feels lonely, but I wanted to bring that up because I do think that that's a problem, for entrepreneurs. And we don't even know that that's something we're going to be battling when we start our own business. I think that so often we don't realize that it is such a lonely place. And what I wanted to kind of mention is I've been listening to this book by Russel Brunson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Russel Brunson built ClickFunnels. He's a multimillionaire and just a really interesting person. And so I've been listening to .com Secrets, which is just a really cool book. And in it, one of the things that he said is that modeling is different than copying. And actually, I think Tony Robbins had said that, and he quoted that in his book. And he was like, there's no reason to continue going out and like feeling like you have to completely recreate the wheel. Now, modeling is different than copying. Okay, so copying is not flattery. People will say, oh, it's the biggest form of flattery. No, it's not. No one likes to be copied. No one likes to work really hard to just have their work ripped off. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Don't do that. But at the end of the day, let's take my business, for instance. There's only so many ways to run a wedding business, right? To plan weddings. And so they're all going to be somewhat similar. No matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to have your unique spin on who you are and what you provide. For instance, okay, this is a great example. Rebecca Rosado from Runway Events here in Central Florida. If you guys aren't local to Central Florida, she's another wedding planner in Central Florida. Her and I talk about how our businesses are so similar in that we have larger teams. We both have a lot of the same ethics and just morals on how we run our business and the same dreams for what we want our business to be. However, we could not be more different. Very, very rarely is one single bride looking at both of our companies because we are very different humans. Our businesses are run so similarly, but who we are and what we bring to the table in terms of design or aesthetic or just our personalities are very different. And so that's what I'm trying to get at here is that you can model the way that someone does something. You can take their roadmap. You can take the way they've already paved the road ahead of you and make it your own. Does that make sense? So the reason I say that is because Russel Brunson in his book was talking about how what you should be doing is paying attention to how other people are doing things. For instance, I often will sign up for someone's emails just to kind of see like, how do they speak to their people? What do they say? What kind of topics are they sending? And that's not because I'm going to take that topic and send the exact same topic. Like that's not cool. But it is interesting to be able to just see like, oh, okay. So there's this one person that I follow, for instance, who's actually, she's not a business coach, but she kind of is a business coach. Anyway, so she writes really cool emails. And I sign up for her email list just simply because I like reading what she writes. And it kind of helps me to understand her personality, which is opposite from mine. Like complete complete opposite personality. So I wouldn't speak in the same way that she does to her audience, but I think it's really cool that she's found her voice for her audience. And so it's helpful for me to kind of just understand, like, ooh, that's an interesting way to do that. I like that. And so I think that that's brilliant. I love Russel Brunson's advice. He would say that he would sign up for different things in the coaching space because he's a coach. Well, he's not anymore, but he was, and his whole gig is creating funnels for coaches. And so he would sign up for people's funnels just to see what they sent. And I thought that that was so interesting. I was like, that's brilliant. And again, please hear me. I'm not telling you to copy people because that's not cool. But I am telling you to be inspired by other people. I also want to tell you there are people out there who can show you exactly what to do. There's not, I think gone are the days where we're so protective of our information, right? I think that there's a lot of people out there. Online education has become this huge space where you can now find a coach, you can find a mentor, you can have someone that can walk alongside you. I can tell you right now, when I started my business 13 years ago, I don't even know that I could put a price tag on what I would have paid someone to say, here's your roadmap. Here's how to do it. Now, you're still going to put your own spin on it. You may make an exit that I didn't, and that's totally fine. But here's how I did it. Here's what works, and here's what I learned that didn't work. So like, save yourself the time. Don't do that. There's a lot of things that I learned along the way that I would love to save other entrepreneurs the same heartache. To say, let me help you build it faster because I can tell you, I can give you a plan. And so that's really what I think is so important right now, is to learn from other people. Model what they're doing, see what they're doing, ask if they have a roadmap. There's so many people out there right now that are willing to coach and bring you along in their journey and to share what they've done with others. And so I think that that's really important. So I just wanted to encourage you guys today to look for those people in your industry that are coaching and are helping other people to bring them along and to create a roadmap for you, right? So you can model what they've done, not copy, but you can model what they've done and then make it your own. There's so much room for everyone in our industry.